welcome back to Drive North. And if you're new, my name is Matt, and we are family from Fridley, Minnesota. We're part-time RVers, and we're getting our grand design ready here to take down south for a couple of weeks. We're gonna spend a week at Santa Rosa RV Resort near Destin, Florida. Then we're gonna head over to the East Coast and spend a week at Ocean Grove RV Resort, which is just south of St. Augustine. Should be a really fun trip. I got a lot of things to show you guys, some new upgrades to the camper, some new camping accessories, and kind of splurged and bought a couple new toys. I originally got them for the kids, but I think my wife and I will probably spend just as much, if not more, time on them. We'll have to show you those a little bit later. So we actually haven't used our rig here in about 3.5 months. So over the last couple days, I've been just kind of going through it, making sure there's going to be no surprises, you know, turning the furnace on and topping off the propane tanks, checking the tires. We'll do the lug nuts before we leave tomorrow. But these are actually brand new tires. We'll talk more about those later. But you know, we're going to be doing about 3,300 miles on this trip, so I want to make sure everything is in tip-top condition. And our truck is good to go. We got a fresh oil change, topped it off with gas, got the inside all cleaned up. Did a car wash the other day, but it snowed, so it's going to get dirty fast. Otherwise, today we're just going to finish packing up the camper here. I want to get it all hooked up and ready to go so we can take off first thing in the morning. The next morning was a typical cold February Minnesota morning. It was about 8 degrees when we left. We were able to get all set up and on the road by 8 o'clock. And the roads going through the cities and through Minnesota were actually pretty good. It had been 36 hours since the last storm, and that's usually plenty of time to get the roads all cleared out. However, once we got down towards the Iowa border, the roads started to get kind of sketchy. And I think the combination with it being cold and them getting more snow and it being very windy, the plows just were not able to keep up with the roads. We started to notice a lot of drifts forming over the roads, and there were a lot of sections where there was still a lot of ice and snow built up from the previous snowfall. And in fact, it was one of these sections where we almost ended up in the ditch. Basically, we were on this 4-lane road. From the dash cam here, you can see we get passed by this semi. We're barely doing 40 miles per hour, but the semi passes maybe about 50. And after we get out of the slipstream, we got hit with a super strong gust of wind from the side, and that moved our rig out of the asphalt onto these ice patches here and put us into a skid. We started to fishtail, and luckily we were able to straighten it out as we were going into the shoulder here. I don't know if the camera quite captures how strong it was, but here it is from a different angle. If you look through the back windshield here, you can kind of see the camper and as it goes into the skid. Yeah, we almost ended up in the ditch. Very glad we didn't, obviously, but it wasn't until we got to Cedar Rapids, Iowa that the roads really started to clear up, and we're guessing we saw about 60 to 80 semis, RVs, and cars in the ditch during this section. It was some very stressful driving, and in fact, it wasn't until we were into Missouri that the roads were really starting to dry up and we were able to relax and start talking about the rest of our trip. So I guess I haven't talked about our plan yet. Like I said, we're going to Destin, Florida, and we're going to take 2 days to drive down there. Our first night, we are going to stop at Hahn State Park. It's about 45 minutes south of St. Louis. And then our second night, we're just going to kind of wing it because we can't check into our resort until Sunday. We left Friday morning. So we're going to just, I don't know, stay at a Cracker Barrel, a Harvest Host, or we'll see if maybe there's a campground we can get the night before we can get into our resort. I don't know if we can find an open campsite around Destin, Florida on a Saturday night in February, but I don't know. We have some options. We'll see how it goes. But tonight we are going to be at Hahn State Park. Looks like we'll be arriving at 9 o'clock. This is getting closer to shorts weather. It's weird how this 23 degrees actually feels nice now. All right, so we made it into Hahn State Park a little after 10 o'clock. Did a real quick basic setup. We're keeping attached to the truck since we're just going to be here for overnighting. I called ahead to see if they had water, and they said 2 sites have access to a frost-free spigot.
Site 1 and Site 41. So we did get Site 41. We were able to fill up our potable tank. We ran into a problem though. Since this was coming out of storage on our trip, I was going to unwinterize it when we got down here. And our water heater bypass valve is, you get access to it in this panel behind the outdoor kitchen here. And when I went to open the outdoor kitchen, I forgot that it uses its own unique key, and we did not bring that key with. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. There's nothing we can do about that, so we're just gonna have cold water. There's gonna be no showers or anything, but that's fine. We just need water to use the toilet and sink and whatnot. But otherwise, we got electric and everything we need for just a quick overnight stay. All right, that's day one. All right, checking out the numbers for day one. We went 588 miles, 13 hours and 22 minutes of run time. That's not drive time, that's any time the truck was running. Probably about 12 hours of drive time though, and 9.2 miles per gallon. Morning. Yeah, it's a little warmer than it was yesterday though. So we are day two again at Hans State Park, and overall I think we would have had a good night if it weren't for Mr. Wiener Dog, who had to get up 5 different times. But yeah, we got in so late. We were so tired after that long 12-hour stressful travel day that we pretty much just set up camp and went right to bed. But in the light now, yeah, this actually seems like a decent state park. They got nice level pads, you know, picnic table, fire pit, really good size sites. Yeah, it's a shame that we're just going to be here for about an hour and we can't really check it out. But we're going to do this little path up to the amphitheater and see what's there, and then we're going to pack it up and head down towards Florida. So the plan today is, like I said, just to kind of wing it. Audrey. Yeah, so Hans State Park's a nice little park. It'd be nice to go back and visit when it's warmer. But now don't get me wrong, I love Minnesota state parks. They're set in awesome, gorgeous locations. But as far as like infrastructure, after seeing how Han Park does their pads, and I mean they're nice and level, concrete, and they have those nice paved roads going in, I think Minnesota could step it up a little bit with their infrastructure. Anyways, I was thinking about that lot kitchen door, and what we did is I just called the RV dealership that's on the way down. That's a pretty common lock on those, and he confirmed that they can open that up, or they actually even sell a key that will get us back into our kitchen. I think there's one in about 10 minutes up the road, so we're going to stop and hopefully get that problem taken care of. All right, $5 for a set of replacement keys. Got a sewer donut too. The place we're going to requires one. So thanks to Youngbloods Cape Town RV for helping us out, and Small World too. Just ran into a guy there from Northfield, Minnesota, which isn't too far from where we live. And we've actually done. They have a Jesse James bike tour that they do. We've actually both done the bike tour at the same time. So kind of a small world. All right, back on the road.
Now, we normally don't do drive-thrus with travel trailers, but with COVID, sometimes drive-thru is the only thing that's open. So we found with a couple spotters and some advanced scouting, you can make it work.
Don't drive with no hands. Yeah, I'm just calling to see if you would possibly have a site open for one night tonight. Okay, what size RV do you have?
29.
29 travel trailer?
I have a pull-through lot available, which runs $47.70 for the night, or I have just a regular back-end lot that's available, which would run you $37.10 a night.
We can take the back end one.
Okay.
This is Riverside RV Resort. It's about half an hour east of Mobile, Alabama. We got in about 9:30 last night, set up again, and just kind of went right to bed. We were all pretty tired again, but not a bad little RV resort. This is site 40, and you know, this site really doesn't do this park justice. It's probably the worst site here, but it was the last available back-end site they had, and for $37 full hookups, you know, it's not bad, especially if you're just crashing for one night. But not a bad little park. Looks like it's well maintained. They got a mix of pull through, back in, and the RV resort itself is set on this nice sandy river, and they got this really cool overlook here, kind of a little deck area with picnic tables, and it looks like in the summer a lot of people do kayaking and tubing, and looks like it'd be kind of a fun place to stay in warmer weather. Anyways, it's about 9:30 Sunday morning. We are going to be packing up here. We're going to do a brunch at Cracker Barrel and then check into Santa Rosa RV Resort. Looks like we can check in around 1 o'clock. So that's the plan. It's almost like a little boardwalk here. All right, this is pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy. Are you happy?
Yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, wow.
Matthew, you're smiling.
You alright? Were you